Hello everyone, welcome to week 23 of this school year. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Marily Sanchez and I'm a 4th grade teacher in South Florida, and I'm coming to you from Monday, February 5th, 2024. It is the end of the day and I had a pretty good day with both of my classes. This morning I started with my advanced group, and to get them started I want to start doing more enrichment activities since I have a majority of my gifted students in that class. So one way that you can do enrichment is by getting students to do brain teasers or brain puzzles that engages their critical and creative thinking. So I wanted to see what they would do with rebus word puzzles, and this is what I gave them. So this is one that I have downloaded previously from scholastic.com. So basically, when you look really closely, number 1 has another, and after that is one thing. So that is one thing after another. Heart is broken in the middle, so it has broken heart or heartbroken. So as you can see, these are all the different answers to all of these rebus puzzles, and the students actually had fun with them. It was great to see them engage with progressive struggle, and I really am looking forward to what other activities I will do with them, so stay tuned. And after that, we went ahead and had them work on finishing their group project from Cause and Effect. And then as I read the 2 pages at a time, because I did assign them each group 2 pages to find 4 cause and effect relationships, the students went to the front of the room and presented their cause and effect relationship posters as well as what they found. You may recall in last week's vlog that I showed you this strategy or structure for the poster. And here is one example of a poster that one group created. There's the gap here because they tore the paper, so they have a piece of tape they can't write over it. And here's another example just so that you can see what the students ended up doing. After that, it was time for writing, and I gave all the students a copy of source 1 and 2 from the invasive species expository essay. So here is my annotated one. So we were reading it together and annotating, looking at the invasive species that were mentioned and underlining the problems that they caused. Tomorrow we'll read source 3 and do the same and gather our evidence so we can start getting ready to create a plan for our writing, write our introductions, and continue forward with this essay. With my block 2 this afternoon, my ELL learners, I had quite a few of them that needed to, actually a couple of them that needed to finish their diagnostic for iReady. So we were, for the first part of our class, just in the computers, making sure they finished their diagnostic, and those students that were done were getting their iReady minutes as well as their Imagine Learning minutes. Then after we came back, we finished the same story, see how they run, and they completed their cause and effect chart, which here's my example. So last week we did these 2 together. Today, after I read 2 sets of pages, I gave them the cause and they had to find the effect. And then for the last part of the story, I gave them the effect and I gave them a closed sentence so they can find the cause. That's basically it for instruction. I am trying to work on ways to encourage students to make positive choices, and I'm inspired by Joanne Miller on Instagram. She's head over heels for teaching. I'll link her down below, along with this resource that she shared with me some time ago. Basically is a whole class mystery prize board. So I'm currently making it. I got a 9x18 sheet of construction paper. I printed these letters out, cut them out, and just glued them right now with a glue stick. And I printed different things that I want my students to focus on. So we have all these sticky notes. This is a sticky note template. She includes one, but I also have my own. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this whole entire paper with these sticky notes. I have a total of 18 sticky notes. So these are all the sticky notes that I've created with all the different things that I want the class to work towards. And of course, I can change them from time to time. I do have another one that I'm going to print out and make since I have 2 classes. So I'm going to finish this up and show you how it looks in the end. Just finished both mystery prize boards for both of my classes. I miscalculated the size of the construction paper. I thought it was a 9 by 18. It's a 12 by 18. So I needed to make 6 more sticky notes, but check them out. Here is one of the boards for block 1, and it's pretty much the same thing for block 2. Same mystery prize, so I can't wait to show the students this incentive for making great choices. So that's about all that I have for you today, Monday. I will see you tomorrow. Hello everyone, coming to you at the end of the day Tuesday, finished with my Minecraft club, and I have a couple of things to share about what we did today. This morning I started with my ELL students, my block 2, and we read The Birth of American Democracy, and they did such a great job that they got 3 stickies pulled off from their mystery prize poster. So here are the spots where the stickies were removed, and I was so proud of them. I also gave them some extra dojo points. They were paying attention, they were focused on the lesson, and then it was time for them to take the assessment, the reading assessment for our unit that we just finished, Wonders Unit 4, weeks 1 and 2. And because they're ESOL students, level 1s and 2s, they take the scaffolded assessment. The scaffolded assessment is provided by our district, and instead of getting both passages from the Wonders assessment, they get the first passage. So as you can see, they have a lot of pictures, a lot of scaffolds to help them have easier access to the text. So they have this passage on the Bedford flag, and then after the passage, they then had their 6 questions. So the questions went over different reading standards that we've been going over, such as Latin roots, and they also had questions dealing with cause and effect. They had to attach the cause to its effect, determined by what the passage stated. And they also gave them an anchor chart for cause and effect. And they had another one on headings. And again, vocabulary, headings. This one was a short response, so they just had to fill in the blank with the correct words. And the last one was on text structure, which is the one that we've been working on, which is cause and effect. So they gave them this anchor chart right here so they know the different kinds of text structure. Then after they were done with the assessment, which I have to score, I gave them a foldable that I created so that they can write down what they learned about the 3 branches of government from the paired text that we read today. This is the paired text, and on the next page, they have this little sidebar that tells them a little bit more about the branches of government, as well as this heading here that continues up here that lets them know a little bit more about the 3 branches of the government. So I gave them this foldable that I put together, and I had them cut just this part up to the fold so that they can open it up and let me know who is part of the legislative branch and what does that branch do. And the same thing for the executive branch and the judicial branch. So all of this information comes from that text that we just finished. On the back, it was just pretty simple, the 3 branches of government, and they wrote their name and the date. So that is the foldable that I created for them to take those notes on. In the afternoon, I had my block 1, and my block 1 started by first taking their assessment on performance matters, which that does take them some time to do. But I did spend the first couple of minutes of class going over the class mystery prize poster and the different skills that we're working towards achieving. And the students were working on that. As they finished, they were working on iReady minutes. So I still have a few students that haven't finished that test. They'll finish it tomorrow morning when they come in. And I didn't get to give them the homework today. So the homework is on top of their desk so they can work on it when they come in tomorrow morning. So that is all that I have for you for today, Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow. Hello everyone, it's the end of the day Wednesday, just coming to you with a quick update because I'm exhausted. This morning I started with my block 1 and they were working on their homework assignment that I left on their desk, like I mentioned yesterday, and I also had some students working on their assessment to finish it. I did have some of my absent students come in today, but I didn't have them finish the assessment because I know they needed more time. So they worked on it a little bit and tomorrow they'll continue, but then I went ahead and introduced the new unit and I gave the students a reflection sheet just like the last unit so that they can reflect on each component of the introduction of a new unit. This is the reflection sheet right here. This is my example. So this is our essential question. The students wrote the reflection on the opener video and what we learned about it. We read the study blast and they wrote the reflection on that and the listening comprehension as well. That's about all that we were able to do. What I did is after each reflection, the students had about 3 minutes to go ahead and share it with people around them, and then we would go ahead and move on to the next part of the introduction. I did also have time to share with them a book that I just closed out my computer, so I'll try to remember to show you tomorrow, but it's called Have You Thanked a Scientist Today? And since we're in Black History Month, it was great to share that with them because it talked about different Black inventors that have invented different things that we use every day and that they use probably getting ready to come to school this morning, such as the clock and the refrigerator and the hairbrush, the traffic light. Maybe they had peanut butter in their lunch and things like that. So it was really nice to talk about that. Although there was even a scientist for the pencil sharpener. So they were like, yeah, thank you so much. So it was great for them to learn a little bit about each and every one of those inventors. Then it was time for me to have my block 2, and they were working on finishing their flip foldable on the 3 branches of government. Our class was cut a little bit short because my co-teacher needed some time for them to finish their math assessment, so I didn't have that much time with them. And plus, today we rewarded the students that went up 10 points or more under iReady assessment or were at mid-4 and up in their placement level for iReady AP2 diagnostic for reading. Next week, Wednesday, it will be for math. But the students did a great job. The students that didn't get to have that incentive stayed with me and they were working on their computers. All right, so that is all that I have for today, Wednesday. It's been a day. I need some rest. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, everyone. It's the end of the day, Thursday, Friday Eve. We're almost done with week 23. So I wanted to let you know how our day went. I started this morning with my block 2, which are my ELL students, and with them I ended up introducing unit 4, weeks 3 and 4 with our reflection sheet, but I adapted it and modified it for them, so I provide some scaffolds that will help them with their reflections. So here is that reflection sheet, and as you can see, I added different sentence frames to each box. So after watching the video, I feel, because, something interesting was, I think. So the same kind of structure follows each of the introductory segments. And what I did is after each segment, I had the students kind of brainstorm some words about what they felt about the video, for example. So I wrote a list of those words down on the board. Then I also had them let me know what was interesting, and I wrote that on the board, and any thoughts that they had, and I wrote that on the board to help them be able to use the English language to complete this reflection for each component of our introduction for this unit. Then after that, we went into our writing, and we're working on finishing that GM Foods essay because we just haven't had enough time to get it all done. But we indeed went back to our argumentative writing planner and looked back at our reasons for why GM foods were not beneficial. And we wrote it down by stating the reason and then finding text evidence, which I had the students help me locate, and then elaborating on that, on why. Let's reflect on what we just wrote. Why is all that important? What do we think about it? We did the same thing for reason number 2. And then for the conclusion, it was just a matter of restating their claim and their 2 reasons, which we have here. Now, I also modeled the opposing side of GM foods are beneficial, and these are the 2 reasons. So I went ahead and modeled for the first reason so they can see I'm stating my reason, I'm using evidence to back it up or tell more about it, and then I'm elaborating so that they can see the different ways that we can write an argumentative essay. Since this sheet is the planner, their next step is to write it in their notebooks completely. And hopefully from there we move on to the invasive species expository essay, which the other class is already working on. So that was the end for my block 2. My block 1, when I received them, we went ahead and worked on our shared read, A Telephone Mix-Up, which is a historical fiction about a little town in Centerburg, Ohio in the early 1900s when they get their first telephone in the city or the town. So the students had to look at point of view, they had to look at character perspective, synonyms, and inferences. So they worked on reading the passage, answering the fine text evidence questions, and also working on an annotations handout. This is that annotations handout. So another thing that they need to work on is understanding the setting and what it plays with the plot. So obviously, because we're doing historical fiction, if the setting wasn't in the early 1900s, it wouldn't make sense that the town was getting their first telephone. So they needed to describe the when and the where for the setting. They needed to describe the point of view and a character perspective. There were two characters that share their perspective, so they could choose either one. Then they had to write about something they loved or liked and why, something they found surprising, and questions that they still have about the passage. Another thing that I was able to receive today through Amazon is an incentive jar for each of my classes to see if that'll motivate them to make better choices. The kids are great and overall they're amazing. It's just a very chatty group. And it's also because there's a lot of them. So I'm just trying to find different ways to encourage them to make better choices. You already saw that I tried the motivation, the mystery prize for the whole class. That is still going. And now I have this. So these are the reward jars that I got from Amazon, and they have magnets on the back. They also brought the little wooden stand that you can put them. So if you want to put them on like a shelf, in that case, you could do that. And what I did is I have this really powerful magnet on the side to hold a little bag. And in the little bag are the little tokens that you put inside. So these are the tokens that I ordered. There were other options like for stars and so forth, but I wanted to choose the smiley faces because they make some good choices. So what you would do if the class made good choices, you would just put it inside of the jar and we will continue adding them as the class makes better choices. And once we fill up the whole jar, the class will get a reward. And there are 25 tokens that fill up this jar. And once they're done, you can just empty them out and restart for another reward that you can give the class. So that is one other strategy that I'm trying to use as well. I'll definitely give you updates in the next couple of weeks to let you know how it goes. We got them at the end of the day. That's why they're both empty, but hopefully tomorrow the students can start earning smiley faces in their reward jars and they can get their first prize. I am thinking the first prize could be like a snack party for the entire class, so we'll see. So that is what we have going on for today, Thursday. Little updates here and there. So I'll see you in a few short seconds to wrap up the week. Hello everyone, it's the end of the day on Friday and I think I'm getting sick. My throat feels a little weird. Doesn't hurt, but it feels weird and I'm starting to sound stuffy. As much as I try to avoid hugging all the kids because I do love to hug and I know they love hugs too, I just wanted to prevent getting sick because a lot of them have been sniffly, especially with the temperatures dipping to the lower 50s earlier in the week and things like that. It's not as cold right now. And I know that for some of you that's not even cold, but it's South Florida and we don't typically get really, really cold temperatures. And when we do, they don't really last that long either. Today, I think the high was 74 or 70 something. I don't know. But anyway, today was mainly a day of getting caught up with our iReady minutes since I didn't make time for it earlier in the week. And we want to make sure the students get their minutes and their lessons passed. And I also worked on Imagine Learning with my ESOL students. So there wasn't much of anything else going on today, except me making sure the students got their rewards from the prize wheel and the reward stickers for the dojo points that they have accumulated so far. So when I have some time, I'll show you the Excel spreadsheet that I keep. So I keep all the points that they have, I update it, and then I check off what rewards they have earned and received. And if they spin the wheel, I have a separate sheet within the same Google Sheet that keeps track of what are the rewards that the students landed on when they turn the wheel. So that's really cool. The students got to do that. I'm fully updated on points and rewards when it comes to that. More stickers were removed from the posters. So here we are with our progress on our mystery class prize. And here we are with our little incentive jars. The students really enjoy that. I also rearranged the desk. Again, I haven't created a seating chart yet, but I will. I could stay here in all honesty in the classroom and keep working. But I just don't feel 100%. And I know that it's better for me to just go home, rest. When I have some time this weekend, I'll just sit down and think about where I want the students to sit. And I'll take pictures of the desk arrangement so I can have an idea. But this is what I'm going for. And honestly, I don't 100% love it. I wish I could just put the kids in clusters and everyone will be able to face the front correctly without giving their backs to the front of the classroom. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm just going to research different ways to arrange 27 desks in a room and see where it goes. So yeah, this is what we're working with presently. I always have in my mind that sitting arrangements are temporary and are subject to change with any new information. So we'll see how these seats end up by the end of next week. Anyway, I'm going to leave you for today, February 9th, the end of week 23. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought, or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile.
Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.